it's me, Persita, and this is Persita's Paradox. So today, let's talk about your habits. Our thought for Thursday question was, what does your habit say about you? And when I say that, it's a very interesting way to try to angle yourself to even answer it, because most of the times when I say habits, it might be eating that comes to mind. It might be the way you dress, the way you move, what you actually do, what time you get up. Those are all important attributes, but I don't think that they say as much as your habits that actually inundate other people. So, meaning, what do your habits say in regards to the way that you interact with people? Are you confrontational? Are you in a space where, it takes you a minute to respond, but when you do, it can be volatile? Are you an introvert and actually hold your feelings in and suppress them? I'm interested to know those things. So what I'm going to address today are those things and how we can really pay attention to just how we respond to what our expectations and habits do to either enhance or interfere with our relations and our relationships. And what I mean by that is that we naturally want to always say to others, this is just who I am. This is what I do. This is what I'm used to. And that is fine. I mean, if that's really where you are. But I've grown to understand that my habits continuously have to change as my levels change, because my conversation's going to change. My environment's going to change. My interactions with others and on different levels will obviously have to change. So my habits, truthfully, will actually have to shift level to level. So I have now grasped the idea of the way that I'm perceived is not necessarily my problem, but I do want to be conscious of if I am trying to exude a certain characteristic or a certain definition of what I stand for and who I am. It's very important for my habits to be aligned with that, even as I shift level to level. So what I like to say is the first thing in my habits that will stand out is integrity is not for sale. And you might say, well, what does that mean? It simply means that at this stage of my life, I have grown very, very protective of people around me and myself. And if you have made it into the circle of Persita, then understand that I am literally going to be possessive and I'm going to be protective. So if that be true, then my circle would have to remain within a mindset of like-mindedness with me, or you usually don't fit in my circle. So I don't believe in selling myself or others I care about to the win in order to achieve a different position or to be liked by others. So when I say integrity is not for sale and it's a habit that I have stood within most of my adult life, it simply means I don't have a need to lie about anything. I don't have a need to falsify or present myself any other way than who I am. And I expect the things that are around me to be the same way, meaning the people that are in my life, the way that they move and speak, so that if you see my friends, you will understand that integrity is not for sale because we all think that way. That's what I mean by the people that are around me in regards to my habits now have to mimic who I am. If not, then it's actually a bust, because those people are the first people that I'm going to go to. They're on my phone. They're my first five, however you want to look at it. And it's super important that when I'm speaking to them, if I'm falling short, that they can hold me accountable. So my first habit is integrity. And I will absolutely never, ever step into a realm where I feel as if integrity is being jeopardized in my life, right? The second characteristic that I would tell about myself is that I'm consistent. And what does that mean? It means I'm consistent in everything I do. The way that I wake up, the way that I move, the way that I talk, the who I'm talking to, it grows in a consistency of that is exactly what I mean and what I say, which mimics the integrity, because I don't speak unless I know it. And if I know it, it's not going to waver, because what I know, I know. So I'm not easily shaken into believing something that I don't know. And if I don't know it and I'm all in a learning position, then I'm learning. But I'm very clear on when I'm learning and when I'm not. Some may call it egotistical. Some may say that, well, you're never going to know everything. Catch what I said. If I don't know it, I don't know it. But if I do, you're not going to tell me I don't, if that makes any sense. So I would like to say consistency. I am particularly dedicated. Another habit that I would say is crucially important for people who really want to achieve goals. To be dedicated to yourself first makes everything around you become dedicated. I'm always going to push for my destiny. I'm going to fight for it. I'm going to put myself in a position that I understand the process. So I'm not going to waver really quickly and easily when obstacles come my way, simply because I'm fighting for it and I'm dedicated to the process. And until it's achieved, I'm not going to let up. You kind of catch what I'm saying? So when I think of characteristics of myself and my habits, these are all things that fall into my actual habits. What does it say about me? It says whatever the person wants to perceive it to say. Now, that might sound crazy, but catch it. The way you think or you take what I do is not my problem. So the way that I think or move or be is the only issue at hand. How you feel about me will never be my issue or a problem, because how you perceive those attributes, those habits, is dedicated to you. I can only be what I can be. And what that says about me is based on the person looking at what they're looking at. So it's funny to me when you think about what do your habits say. The oxymoron in that is it depends on who's actually looking or translating those habits. So when I asked the question, what does your habits say about you? It was a trick question because I'm not really asking, what do people perceive you to be? I'm asking, what do the habits say about you to you? Get it? So that is why it is very interesting to even approach what I'm saying, because most of us start with, what do people perceive those things to be? It's not your problem. Your habits are your habits. And I realize that even as I have grown through life and gone through many a battle, many a issue, because of those attributes, people automatically assume I'm going to win. And you might say, what do you mean? I'll literally call a friend and say, oh my God, things are terrible. I can't believe how many things are coming my way and Satan's after me and blah, 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 whatever I want to say at the moment, right? I never have found anyone in my circle that'll say anything more than, you got this. You always make it through. You always seem to do whatever it needs to do to not completely lose it. You'll be fine. I started to get offended by that many a time because I wanted to be able to wallow and be miserable too, until I realized that what they were telling me is what I wanted them to believe in me in the first place. And when I couldn't believe in myself, they were able to give it all of those attributes that I just gave you back to me, to simply say, you got this. Outside of the fact that I also have a habit of believing in a higher being. And because I believe in God, and that's what I call my higher being, it's very complicated for me to not move forward, because I understand that when I'm weak, that He is strong and I can do things always through Christ who strengthens me, and I can go on and on and on and speak on that level. It's not religious to me because I don't really follow a religion. I'm relational, and that makes it a little bit more complicated for most because they feel as if relational cannot actually exist without religion. And in my world, it's just different. I feel completely different. I feel like I don't have to go to any religion to find God because He says He's within me. And if He's within me, then anywhere I go, He is. So there's yet another habit. And because of even that habit, most believe in me, even when I don't believe in myself. So I say again, the way that I think and move, my habits, the things that I do and do in a position of consistency and dedication and integrity and relation makes it very easy for me to display who I am in my sum total. It means I can abound, I can abase, I can be rich, I can be poor, but all of those things are the sum total of my basic foundation. And those habits that I feel like most should have in order to build a solid foundation makes me qualified to be on any particular level at any particular time, because I understand that it's not by my will, it's by my destiny's will, it's by my God's will on what my purpose is, and my habits are created and formed within a manner that they mimic what I need them to grow and also to sustain. Fertilization is important if you're planting on every particular level. You have to know when to fertilize, when not. You have to know when to take a plant out of the pot, when to repot, all of those things. Those basic foundational things that I just spoke of, which are just a few of the many, are crucial in order to be, to me, everything that a person should be. Does that mean that there's not others out there? I'm sure there's plenty of you can think of all of the other things that you could say and what those actual habits are, now that you understand what I mean by what do your habits say about you. I'm just touching on a few because, of course, this video could go on forever, and that's not the goal. But I definitely want you to think on those things and ask yourself, have you built habits that can sustain throughout your entire existence and that can consistently and continuously grow with you on every level of success or failure? I hope so. That is really my prayer for you today, that you are blessed to understand what you need, what attributes you need, what habits you need in order to succeed and to succeed for the entire journey. So thank you so much again for joining me. Hope that didn't confuse you, because I did get a few inboxes where the confusion was there. But again, I wanted to touch on it. I'm sure I'll continue to touch on them because truthfully, every video that I do, we could expound and make them as long as we need to. That's not the goal. The goal is to just generate a little energy in your mindset to try to, I don't know, let's say reinvent things that you need to reinvent and to think and ponder on things that you need to ponder. This is not motivational. Never do I want to be a motivational speaker, because to me, motivational speaking is just that. It's just words. I want to actually live and be authentic in my life so that my test and my testimonies are authentic. So I hope that makes sense. Also wanted to add that. But as usual, I'm going to end this video on the notion of always remembering to do the 3 things that I have said since this channel was created, published, and launched. Live life authentic. Those are also 3 habitual words that I like to say. And I also like to live. Live life authentic, no matter what that looks like to anybody else. As long as you know that that is what you're doing, it's not up for explanation and it's not up for discussion. It is completely and utterly defined by you and you alone. So today, live life authentic are 3 habits. If you have not picked up, I hope you do. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure that you are enjoying yourself while you're enjoying the day. Be a blessing as you're asking for blessings. And join me on Thursday for our next Thursday Thought for the Day question to see what we're going to do over the weekend. Thank you again so much. Hope you're enjoying this summer. School's back in. Most of us parents are ecstatic about it. And I can't say anything more than enjoy the fact that your kids are out of your home and not eating you out of house and home half the day. Okay? So thank you so much again. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.